The first item is to consider approving a resolution to amend Ordinance 8D. This is to adopt Section 24-33.5-1237 of Colorado Revised Standard that requires municipalities, fire protection districts, certain metropolitan districts, and counties to adopt a wildlife resiliency code that meets or exceeds the standards of the model code adapted by the Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code Board. Darrell Bay, Chief Building Official, will you address the board?
Good morning. I'm Darrell Bay, Building Official with the Mesa County Building Department. The item brought before the board this morning for your consideration is a resolution to amend the Mesa County Building Code as adopted by Ordinance 008D to adopt the 2025 Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code, commonly known as the Wildland Urban Interface Code or the WUI Code.
WUI, W-U-I, stands for Wildland Urban Interface. And the whole intent behind it is we've had a lot of fires in the state over the last several years. And so the state of Colorado, this is a state mandate, and it's unfunded at the same time. I understand the intent, but it's an unfunded mandate on locals and government and anybody who wants to improve their house. But what it does is it tries to harden the outside of houses and landscaping in areas, only in areas that are at a higher risk of wildfires. So if you're next to a national forest or if you're next to a dense area of fuel, so trees, brush, you name it, you could be in a WUI designated area. Now, they have WUI maps online that you can look at it, and Mesa County is currently putting another layer on our GIS map, so you can go on Mesa County, you can find your address, and you'll be able to find out whether or not you're in a WUI. The entire valley is not in it. There are places in the valley that are in the WUI, and most of those, if you're flying over, you'll see bands and strips of trees. People who are close to those bands and strips of trees, mostly by the river or irrigated areas, there's spots in there that are in the WUI. Most of the Redlands is in the WUI, but there's a few places in Palisade, and of course anywhere up on Glade Park or the Grand Mesa is all going to be in the WUI. So what does it mean to be in a WUI designated area? It means if you're going to build a new house, if you're going to build a shop, if you're going to add on to your house a minimum of 500 square feet, that you're going to have to build with different types of materials. So your siding on the outside is going to have to be fire resistant. Your shingles are going to have to be fire resistant. And your landscaping is going to have to be pulled away from the house a little bit. Any type of landscaping that would potentially light on fire or that would add fuel to a wildfire. So there's two components. There's the landscaping side and there's the structural side where you're putting siding or roofing or anything like that on the house. Now, if you were just going to redo your siding, you wouldn't have to worry about the landscaping. So if you have an existing house and you want to redo your siding, then you'd have to go get a permit from the building department if you're in the WUI, and make sure that the material is fire resistant. Same thing with your shingles or your roofing material. The biggest impact is going to be materials for the outside of your house are much more expensive to make them fire rated, fire resistant. And right now, currently, we do not have an inspection for siding, for residing a house. You will now have to get an inspection for residing your house if you're in a WUI. So if you have any questions, people can always just reach out to our building department, get more information. We're actively building more information online as to how this is going to impact people. But the intent is to make sure that people are safe, that when wildfires come through, they don't burn houses down as quick and people can get out. This isn't going to save people's houses. It's going to save lives in the end, but it's also going to cost a lot of money. So again, this is an unfunded mandate that Mesa County is trying to make as easy to implement as possible. Mind you, it's not Mesa County per se that adopts this code. It is the fire districts, which there are multiple fire districts in Mesa County. Those are the ones that adopt it. We are trying to create a blanket where we implement in a even, equal way, so it's predictability across the valley as you build. So, but again, how this is going to impact people, if you live in the WUI, it's going to impact you. If you don't live in the WUI, operations is minimal.